Hello and welcome to Miss Hannah Loves Grammar. In this video we'll be answering the question, how does a colon link independent clauses? The simple answer is that a colon links independent clauses by ensuring that the second sentence is introducing something that clarifies the first sentence that came before the colon. An example that needs a colon is this: I have very little money to spend on travel. I next get paid in a month. The natural pause as you heard it as I read it fell after the word travel, because that's a complete sentence. I have very little money to spend on travel. And then the next idea is I next get paid in a month. So the natural positioning of the colon is between the word travel and I. I am clarifying when I next get paid, justifying why at the moment I have very little money to spend on travel, because I get paid in a month. The other thing to say, and it's an important one to acknowledge, is that when we're independently linking clauses, when we have two or more sentences that follow a colon, we must capitalise the first word after the colon. Here's an example that needs that rule to be true. She made 3 arguments, colon. Firstly, comma, it is our responsibility to care, full stop. Secondly, comma, if we don't, it will affect others, full stop. Thirdly, comma, being rude is not needed. Whilst the sentiment and the structure of the colon is correct, the example should be changed by the idea that firstly that follows the colon itself should be with a capital F. That's because the first word after the colon, when there are 2 or more sentences that follow that colon, automatically begins with a capital letter. Now it's your turn. For each of the 3 sentences, consider whether the use of the colon is correct or not. Be ready to justify if it is correct or needs further work. Hit pause if you need thinking time. We were clear, colon. Behave or be affected by poor grades. This is very stern advice, and it's correct. As you can see, the independent clause of we were clear, we want to know what they were clear about. And we understand now that they were threatening or promising that if you don't behave, you'll be affected by poor grades. So there's clarity in what follows from the colon in the second sentence from what we saw before. Number 2. All 3 of my uncles are doctors, colon. John is a dermatologist, comma, Amir is a GP, and Samir is a psychiatrist. This is grammatically correct also. What you can see is that because I'm naming a specific person, there is automatically a capital letter for John. But if I had 3 statements that were following the colon, I could put a full stop between them. But because I'm just listing their jobs, it fits in one sentence fine. So commas are correct here. I need many hours of revision, colon. My exams are in 2 months. This is also correct, as you can see, because I'm binding the idea that I need to put lots of time into revision, and I'm also outlining that my exams are just in 2 months, so I'm bridging the idea that I need to work hard because the exams are soon. Ultimately, the function of the colon when joining independent clauses is normally to ensure that the independent clause that follows the colon is adding more depth or information to what came before the colon. Bearing that in mind, there's not much else to consider with applying what we know to the colon. So go forth and apply what you know with absolute colon confidence. Why not subscribe to Miss Hannah Loves Grammar for all things English, literary and grammatical?